Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, and good lord, so many people, so early. It is wonderful to have you all here. Zach, Chair, Luca, Lizard, Josh, Summer, Red Mage, Chris, Shadow Mage. This is... It's lovely. I always love having you here, but as those of you who stream know, having people there early on is super good. Demon's Crest. Kuko, I will add that to my list. Well, early as in stream has just started. It's always nice to have people in the first 30 minutes or so. It can really boost the stream's confidence, which is not a way. I don't want to guilt people for arriving after that period, because you don't owe me anything, and B, I appreciate you no matter when and where you arrive. But yeah, seeing a bunch of people early on in stream feels great. Yes, in the stream, I mean. How is everybody? Josh, I'm sorry to hear that you're doing badly. The offer that Luca extended, I also extend. If you have Discord, my DMs are open if you need someone to chat to. Side game to the Ghosts and Goblins series, but not as difficult, really fun mechanics. I will take a look at that, Chris. Thank you very much. So we're going to be getting back into Phoenix Wright in just a moment. Oh, nice, Chair. I'm existing in a similar state because it is very hot and very humid. So I am a pig soup at the moment. Yeah, Shadow Mage, that's a good question. Why are you there at level 12? That seems like a mistake that you didn't have to make. No one was making you do that. And naked as well. Okay, so Shadow Mage is making decisions. I cannot comment on the smartness of those decisions, because I only barely understand anything about Dark Souls. As anybody who has seen me play Dark Souls will know. I also get very angry sometimes, which I still feel bad about. Hi, Stealth. Yes, it is very hot. I don't know if you're responding to something someone said. But yes, we had to unfortunately end stream a little bit early last week because I started having some weird technical issues where my bitrate dropped for no good reason. But let's get going. We met a new witness. What we basically showed is that essentially it doesn't seem likely that Miles was the person who shot the gun, because the gun was shot with the left hand. We've got a photo that proves that. However, his right hand fingerprints are on the gun, and he is right-handed, so it seems very unlikely that Miles shot. However, he was the only other person on the boat, and the bullet came from about a meter away, so it wasn't suicide. So who knows what's going on? We found another witness, but he doesn't even seem to know where he is. So... well, Josh, let people know if we can help in any way. This is a very generous community. I'm not just talking financially. People here will do what they can to help, as much as they can. And remember that we do love and appreciate you. I hope, at the very least, I can give you some good distraction. That's what I can offer at the moment. So yeah, this was the old man we met. He thought we were his son and daughter, and then he realized we weren't, and then he went back to thinking that. So yeah, this is certainly going well. What we did get is... the parrot basically told us the combination to the safe. But for some reason, Phoenix doesn't want us to open it in front of the owner. Because he's a fucking narc. Polly, Polly, what's your name? Polly! Cute. Maya's found a new friend. On her intellectual level. That may have been unnecessarily mean. Look, a little safe. Now, don't you go opening people's safes without their permission, Meg. Maybe later. What, Luca? Can I show him anything useful? He fell asleep. Tell me about your fucking bird. Polly here's my only friend in the world. Hi, Ziz. Yes, Sharkson continues. Isn't that right, Polly? Hello, hello, ah! Yep. What about the gun? No, he doesn't care about the gun. Okay. Does he not have anything more to talk to us about? Because if... If only it worked that way, Shadow Mage. These games are not big on... What's that word? There's a word... Starts with an L. Logic, that's it. Hi, Pop Time. Yes, Luca, I mean kill him. You know what? I wish we could, Stealth. We can't even do that. Okay. So, anytime you're lost, you can come back here and talk to Maya. She sometimes gives vaguely useful ideas. Sometimes, and vaguely. What should we do? I don't know. I've been in detention this whole time. I know she means, like, in prison, but it sounds like she was kept late after school. I think I'll let you decide what we should do. Any thoughts you want to share? I was in detention all day. Okay. So, that was completely useless. You're not wrong, Stealth. What? What the... Anything new here? No, nothing new here. Okay, so... I missed something with the old man. That much is clear. Okay, so I'm just going to show him evidence that might be interesting. I've already shown him my attorney's badge. That's how we discovered... But that's how he discovered that I am not his son. God, sis, that's very powerful. It's so long every time you show him something he's not interested in. Okay. So the photo of the murder. That makes more sense than I expected. Hey up! I seen this. You know something about this, sir? Heath? Yes? It's okay. You can call me Dad. Dad? You know something about this? Ooh, Phoenix just going along with it. Yep. The other night, out on the lake. Yes, yes. I know all about that. I seen it. What? Tell us. Tell us what you saw. Well, I suppose, since you're taking over the shop and all, he thinks he's running a noodle shop. I forget the time, but it was pretty dark outside. Probably night. Yep. It was after midnight, but okay. I heard this bang, so I looked outside. Then I heard another one. Bang. Everyone says 2 bangs, but the pistol was fired 3 times. That's interesting, and no one seems to care about it. A little while later, his boat comes back, and a young man walked by my window here. He was muttering something to himself. Yep. What did he say? Yep. I forgot. I'll remember tomorrow by court time, promise. We need to know earlier than that. You know what? Hey, little Terry was just here. Who is little Terry? Yep, that kid next door. You always used to make him cry, remember? He was wearing this tattered old coat, got himself some whiskers growing out his face. Are you talking about Gumshoe? Okay, Stealth. You're like super smart, the whole law thing. It's like this. How likely would this be to stand in court, given that he doesn't know who he's talking to? Because my instinct is nobody would listen to this. I mean, it's not the shakiest thing that's going to happen in this case. Don't worry. Must be talking about Detective Gumshoe. He comes up and tells me to come down to court tomorrow. Really? Somehow I don't think we're gonna get much useful information from this guy. Maya, maybe we should be leaving. I mean, also that, Sissy. I think you're right. Oh wait, I had one more question. Huh? Polly, have we forgotten something? Don't forget DL6. Oh, oh my, Polly. Isn't that an interesting thing to say? What did she just say, Nick? One more time, Polly. Don't forget DL6. What? The DL6 incident? No, it's not about the legal case. It's about the dick-licking 6, who were a notorious group of cocksuckers who went around licking dicks. I mean, it was a paid service, but, you know, they got a name. You know, that's concerning to know stuff. Hey, mister, I mean, Dad. This is getting weird. Who is this old guy? Why would that bird Polly know about DL6? We have to figure out who that old man is. Oh! What? He locked the door from the other side. Who could that old man be? I think I need to do a little more research on this DL6 incident. he was one of the original 6 dick lickers. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe. I love what I learn from these games. Because apparently, yes. Well, I say from these games. From people shitting on these games. Animals can testify under certain circumstances. Aha! Luca, fun fact. What I meant to say was dick lickers. Lickers of dick. Now it's saying lickers as in the other thing. But no, Luca, I got it exactly. Closed captions got it correct. Hey, pal. Long time no see. Dick, I love you? Oh my god! Oh my god, did they just lick him all the time? Because he is Dick Gumshoe. Also, we saw each other yesterday. You don't look so happy. It's not a Pokemon. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog ripoff. Sorry, OC. What's wrong this time? Actually, we wanted to ask you something. Yeah? I mean, lots of people don't have to imagine, Chair. It's a fairly common nickname for a fairly common name. Oh hey, Lizard, I also hate cleaning. But I'm glad you did it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Richard is a reasonably common name. And Dick is a fairly common shortening of it. You know the boat rental shop down at Gord Lake? Oh yeah? The old man who runs it is appearing as a witness in court tomorrow, right? Oh, how'd you... That was supposed to be top secret. Do you know who that old man is, Detective? Actually, I don't. He's a bit of an odd bird. I haven't been able to get a straight answer out of him. I decided first that he wasn't persuasive enough to stand and testify as a witness. That's why we called Miss Lotta Hart yesterday. As for who he is, we have absolutely no idea. Sounds suspicious. Dick Pursued. Detective Gumshoe, please help us. Huh? We need to know about the DL6 incident. That was when Edgeworth's father died. Can't help but think that it has something to do with this current case. Tell the truth, I don't know much about DL6 either. Mr. Edgeworth forbade us from reading the file. So, I'm afraid I can't show them to you either, pal. What? However, if you can convince me somehow that the DL6 incident is related to this case, well, I guess I'd consider opening the file up. Bird? What's that? Parrot? Okay, this implies that I took the bird with me. The old man at the boat rental shop's parrot. The parrot knew about that incident. That incident? DL6. What? Remarkably, Chair, the answer is both. Sorry, I didn't get to read what she said. Don't forget DL6. Huh? Pretty sure that old man must have taught her that word. Yeah, but how would that old man know about the DL6 incident? Wait, what if that old man was connected to DL6? Oh, Phoenix, it took you all this time to figure out? God, you're stupid. Your shark brain is made only for swimming and occasionally finding fish. How you ever adapted to this life is incredible. Nick, you think he might be? What the fuck, Maya? Of course he's connected. I get you. Sounds like you need information on the DL6 incident. Lizard, I'm waiting to hear. That's also a thought, Ziz. Through there is the station's record room. I'll give you special permission to go in and find what you need. And also to look through every other document we have, apparently. Alright, way to go, Detective Gumshoe. Okay, Nick, to the records room. Holy fuck, Lizard. Guys, I think Lizard is onto something. Man who knows thing is connected to thing. That's the key to the case. I guess it's time we faced Edgeworth's past. Wow. It's amazingly dusty. 10 years of files and 10 years of dust, I guess, implying that nobody ever cleans in here or touches any of these records. Let's find that DL6 stuff, quick. 15 years ago, both me and Edgeworth were 9 years old. Okay, so, this is apparently 10 years worth of records. This occurred 15 years ago. This is potentially a problem. We were almost through with 4th grade when he suddenly transferred. No, Lizard, no need to blush. Luca is correct. Is it DL6? Nick, I found out where the file is. It was under D. It really wasn't difficult. Oh, thanks. Just let me know what you want to know about the DL6 incident. God, Shadow Mage, why do you have to be so right all the time? I'll go get the right file. Case summary. Well, first I have to get a handle on the main facts. Like a summary. Right. Summary. Lizard, thank you so much for the... Oh wait, Chair, thank you for the gift sub to Lizard. Which in fact means it is time. We're only 9 away from from Slay the Streamer. It is getting very close. Hello, Yanni. Summary, found it. Here you go. December 28th, 2001. That's exactly 15 years ago from the day after tomorrow. Yeah, this game came out in 2016, and they're not shy about it. So in 2 days, the case is closed. The incident took place in the elevator of the district courthouse. What? Is this the same district courthouse where we're holding the trial now? Looks like it. There was a large earthquake at 2 p.m. on that day. Oh wow, there was a large earthquake on the day that Edgeworth's father died? I can't imagine what would make Edgeworth be scared of earthquakes. It's definitely not childhood trauma. Uh, uh, okay, Luca. Enjoy Lurk. Have good luck with art. Part of the court building collapsed, and all of the lights went out. Wow, that was some earthquake. At the time, 3 people were trapped in the elevator. It took 5 hours for them to be rescued. 5 hours? Aziz, unfortunately, he had taken drugs that made him constantly orgasm as long as he was stuck in an elevator. It should normally only have lasted like a minute or two, but because of the earthquake, it just ruined his body. That would be scary like that in the dark. There was a lack of oxygen in the elevator, and the survivors were unconscious. Elevators are not airtight. Like, that's just not a thing that happens. The survivors? One of the 3 in the elevator had been shot. In the heart. That was Mr. Edgeworth's father, wasn't it? He said that his father was shot before his very eyes. You know, if the lights were out, that's technically untrue. Miles Edgeworth was one of the other passengers in that elevator. Do you have data on the victim? Edgeworth's father? Yeah, hold on. Hello, Cheem. Victim, here, found it. Gregory Edgeworth, 35, defense attorney. If he were still alive, he'd be 50. That's a good-looking man. Yeah, it is, but... like, I see no reason to believe that it was that contained. I don't know. Oh, okay, I'm glad we're on the same page, Luca. Yeah, 5 hours is not enough. Not after an earthquake. There's, like, people have survived under collapsed buildings for, like, 2 weeks. You know what I like about Gregory Edgeworth? If you look at that face, so he was 35, if he were still alive, he'd be 50. This is the kind of face that's just gonna get better as it ages. This dude's gonna hit 65 and just be like a silver fox. He's never gonna stop being good looking. That's a good face. He had lost that day's Caden court and gone in the elevator with his son Miles. Miles? What the fuck, Maya? Are you surprised that Miles Edgeworth's father's son is Miles? Miles Edgeworth, of course. But he was in the elevator with his father. We've already established this! Oh my god, Maya! Yes, Miles Tails Prower. From the angle of the bullet and other evidence, it could not have been a suicide. The murder weapon, a pistol, was found in the elevator. The pistol had been fired 2 times. I heard that before. Not in this case. Definitely not in this case, because this pistol was fired 3 times. Fuck off, Phoenix. I remember the evidence. I've got the court record right here. Fired 3 times. Fuck off. I'm angry that no one brings that up. Ah, it sounds just like this current case. What's going on here? Got any data on the suspect in there? I know that, Shadow Mage. I just think it's curious that no one has even mentioned it. That would be the guy that my mom got arrested. Hold on, this is it. The man arrested as a suspect in DL6 was Yanni Yogi? He was a clerk in the court, apparently. There he is having his extensive orgasm. I think, realistically, he's trying to breathe in a low-oxygen environment. So he must have been the third person in the elevator. Well, then he had to have done it. But he was found innocent, thanks to his defense lawyer, Robert Hammond. Hammond, the victim in our case. Right. The suspect, Mr. Yogi, was oxygen deprived. So much so he had brain damage. Oh, really? A prominent character got severe brain damage, and then we meet a man with terrible memory loss. Pretty sure those aren't the same person. Ha 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 ha. He lost all memory of being in the elevator. After he was declared innocent, he disappeared. Oh, so nobody knew where he was. God, Sissy, you're right! There are just sharks lurking everywhere. Where could Yogi have gone to, I wonder? I wonder. He may be closer than we think. Game, you're not clever. You're not subtle. I guess I know generally what happened in DL6 now. I love these games. Part of what I love about them, part of the charm, is that they're so dumb, they're beautiful. I still don't know what sort of impact the whole thing had on Edgeworth. Childhood trauma is the impact it had. My god, he was 9 years old. Nick, are we gonna take the whole file? There's too much, we'll never get it out. You're right. How about we just take what we think we'll need? Right, that's probably all we'll be able to find here. Now all that's left is the trial tomorrow. I wonder how Dad will do testifying in court. I love how dumb these games are. Everybody in these games is so stupid, and it does my heart good. God, we've got Von Karma on the other side.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well. Apparently the prosecution is also ready.
Who's the judge here, anyway?
Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well. No opening statements, so... Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking. Right, of course. A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. Order! Order! Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Must you question everything? You're eating into my 3 minutes. I would like to get home. I ordered a box set of Lord of the Rings extended editions, and I do not want to miss any of it. It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Right. I call my witness, my decisive witness to the stand.
It's that mysterious boat shop owner.
Witness, state your profession. I'm the proprietor of the restaurant, the Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct?
Yep, I was.
Please testify.
Wait a second. We still haven't heard who this old guy is. Just want to fuck up his 3 minutes at this point. Wait a minute. The witness hasn't stated his name yet.
Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. But I have predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. My tacos are already getting cold. You fool! Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate. Witness will state his name.
Fucking thank you, Judge. Well, I'm not really sure, yep.
What do you mean?
Memory.
Your Honor, the witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Almost as if he was oxygen deprived and suffered major brain damage. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name. He can't recall, you say? Yes, but the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Very well. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we? Witness?
It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yep. I was in the restaurant where I rent boats, as usual. And I heard a bang. Yep. And I looked out the window. I saw a boat just a-floating on the lake. And I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore, and a man walks by my window.
Very well. I'd like to begin the cross-examination. There is nothing to question in my witness's testimony.
Okay, the identity of the man, I would argue, is like the crux of this entire thing. Thus far, you have proven somebody murdered somebody. That is not sufficient, fuckface.
Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before our 3 minutes are up. And once the cheese on the tacos gets cold, they're not worth eating anymore.
No, Shadow Mage, he's just corrupt as balls.
Judge, your verdict now. Yes, Mr. Wright.
Of course I'm gonna cross-examine, if only to piss him off. I'm saying, of course I'll cross-examine the witness.
Very well. You may begin. Excuse me, Mr. Von Karma? 3 minutes just passed, and I got a text that my wife has started watching The Fellowship without me. This is your fault.
Hello, Stitch.
I see. Well then, let's just take our time.
Fuck yes! Get his ass, Judge.
You may cross-examine the witness.
The 24th, just after midnight. Don't think there's anything useful there. The restaurant where I rent boats, whatever. I heard a bang. Looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. More details there. Was there someone in the boat?
It was pretty far out there. I couldn't see clearly. But I figure there was 2 men out there. Yep.
You know what, Shadow Mage? You'd think there'd be some kind of receipt. Or he'd remember who he had rented boats to. Stealth isn't the murderer. Stealth is just an accomplice. Oh my god, it is the parrot! But you couldn't see them clearly. Yep, at the time, that is. At the time? And I heard another bang. You know, fair, Chair. Toucans raises a very good point. Man walks by my window. This is what I need to focus on. By your window? Yep, by my window. Right outside the window of my little shack. And could you see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there in front of me. I saw him.
This is a rather important detail. Please add it to your testimony.
I have a bad feeling about this.
That man was the defendant. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead.
Zizzy makes a point. He does have two businesses. A boat rental shop, which is run by a parrot, and a noodle shop, which is ethereal, but nonetheless apparently very successful. Are you sure? Uh-oh. Dad!
Dead certain, Keith. He said, I can't believe he's dead, as he was walking by, too.
You see, this is a situation where the fact that he just called Phoenix Keith and responded to Dad, I think it would be pretty easy to get this witness testimony thrown out.
Witness, are you sure that the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? It was him, that Edgeworth boy. This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. See no room for doubt.
But karma. He lured me into cross-examining so he could set me up for a fall. Nick, I don't like the way things are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. Better act quick, or this trial is going to be over. What would I raise an objection to? Whoops-a-daisy. I don't mind safes coming. You know what? Maya having stream delay is probably the best explanation anybody could come up with. Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired that gun.
Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun? And the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand?
Exactly.
That is easily explainable. Could have wiped his prints after he fired. You are ignoring the truth of the matter here. Everything in this witness's testimony is true.
The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Your Honor, this witness claims that Edgeworth said, I can't believe he's dead. But his word is all we have. If he were telling a lie...
Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently you have yet to realize even this basic fact.
Sir, I'm a shark who started dealing in the law 3 weeks ago. Please cut me some slack.
If you say his testimony is a lie, show us proof.
Nick, do we have evidence? It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Well, yeah, there's also the fact that he didn't say, I can't believe I killed him. He said, I can't believe he's dead. Which is something you would say if someone was shot in front of you as well. Please, can you hear me, sis? Please, Deus Ex Machina us out of this situation. We need your help. Nick needs you.
3 minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. I am sure I can convince my wife to restart the film. And we can microwave the tacos. Enough? The witness may leave the stand.
Dude fell asleep.
This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. Nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. The case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts.
I do! What? No!
This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Oh, I straight up fucked up. Like, much more directly than I expected to.
The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. The court is adjourned.
Fucking knew it.
Who was that just now?
Huh? What? Fucking Larry to save the day. Does it matter that the judge has already given his verdict? Apparently not. Oh. We're all here for the butts. God, I love these games. They're so dumb.
What are you doing here?
Listen, you gotta listen to me. I was there in the park the night of the murder. God, this is such a kangaroo court. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday, because I'm a complete idiot. Today I remembered it.
Remembered what?
The gunshot! I heard it too.
Order!
What the fuck do you mean, Judge Order? You're the one who's in contempt at this point. God, I love this.
What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for adjournment.
No, Lizard, I'm sorry.
One moment, Mr. Von Karma.
Like, this judge needs to be held in contempt. I get that we want the evidence, but the verdict has been passed.
So, you say you heard a gunshot?
Yeah, I did. A gunshot. That night. I was sitting here in the audience, listening to the testimony. Then I realized something he said was different from what I remember. This is complete bullshit. I love it. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. Also, he's a close friend of the accused. Not all legal systems have juries, sis. This one doesn't. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. I love these games.
Well, this is the first time something like this something has happened like this in my court. I'm not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision.
I hate karma. The karma is 100% correct.
The trial is over.
Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance at this. No, he hasn't. This is absurd. If only it wasn't Larry. Oh my god, Phoenix. Phoenix is the worst friend as well. He could make things even worse. Oh, really, Phoenix? He could make things worse than they already are? How? How worse? No, I get that, Lizard, but I feel like this is a step beyond. Mr. Edgeworth was just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse. Thank you, Maya, for being the one who recognizes that. You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here. Right now.
A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned.
Not without, like, a proper appeal process, it can't.
Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty, which I'm apparently allowed to do.
You're right, Zizzy. That's why Karma is pissed. This is just RNG ruining his near-perfect run.
Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now. Yes. Court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned.
Phew, that was too close. That was beyond too close, Phoenix. Lizard. Oh, Sissy, that's such a cute image. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night? Yes. He said he went looking for the steel samurai balloon that flew into the lake. Oh, right. And he found the balloon in the air tank that night? Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth.
You say something, right?
Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong?
It's nothing.
Hmm? It's the day before the anniversary of his father's murder. There might be some things on his mind. Also, he was just declared guilty and only saved because the legal system in this world is bonkers. Mr. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
What's that?
Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh.
When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight.
Then I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason. I see. Right. Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Oh my god! Is Edgeworth gonna confess? Is he going to finally expand on those unnecessary feelings? Hi, miss. When Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Oh my god. Miles, I thought you were going to confess. Perfectly prepared witnesses. Perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. Excuse me, dude has apparently been a prosecutor for so many years, and this is the first time he's had to deal with something unexpected. Press X to doubt. He has to let someone who he hasn't even talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right? That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this one for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything's on Larry now. I cannot believe Dan has a press X to doubt emote. That's so good. Oh yes, definitely. That's what I love about it. I believe the reason is they're very not gay in Japan. But for some reason when it was translated to English, they became very gay. And I adore it.
Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th.
Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. And Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something, and I found it. Oh, Larry. This is already going so poorly. Jelly donuts. The legend of Pokemon. But the problem is, like, you can't complain about jelly donuts because the translation also gave us I'll turn my frying pan into a drying pan, which is the best comedic line ever written. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake but I didn't see a boat. Oh no! Jen, what the fuck? Hello, and thank you for the 3 gifted subs to Carnest, Greg, and Myths. Let me quickly update. Ooh, we're getting suspiciously close. Suspicious is the wrong word to use, but we're getting close. Jane, hello and thank you. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. Niv has a drying pan emote? Well, now I must immediately... Chen, what the fuck? Thank you for gifting a sub to Killer Chair as well. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. He is the first one to say one shot. And that is very interesting. He also didn't see a boat. Chen is gifted 87 subs in total, which is an absurd number. I don't think Chen will ever lose the simp war at this point.
That was an unusually vague testimony even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. Okay. I will say one thing. And the answer is Larry will say the truth. Larry is an idiot, but he's an honest idiot. Chen, oh my god. Oh my god, Chen. How can I ever repay you? Teehee. Shoutouts are limited to mods, but also to the streamer. If you have the opportunity, please follow Zaid. Zaid is absolutely fantastic, and Zaid is also he's also run into some hard times financially. So if you're able to, it would be great if you could help him out even a little bit. Chen, that's so sweet. He saw a woman with thighs that could crush your skull. Oh my, Lizard. That's very exciting. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. Yes, Zaid has 2 kittens, which must be fed. I was out in a boat on the lake. I'm just going to press him on everything, because we need detail. Something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Well, excuse me, princess.
Thank you, miss. There were so many things wrong, I don't know where to begin.
Ah!
Well, okay. First of all, what time was it? Oh, it was after 11 when I went out in the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night. So I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you out on a boat at such a late hour? I was looking for something and I found it. Oh my god, Larry, I adore you. Looking for something? Yeah.
Mr. Butts, what was it you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy.
That's surprisingly close to the truth in a sense.
This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with.
I do love the judge just being eye, mouth, eye. It works so well. Quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Around what time was that? Well, let's see. I figured I was out searching for about an hour. Guess it was around 12. Yeah.
You're not sure?
Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? Also, sundials wouldn't work because it was night. People use watches these days, Larry. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know.
Did you look at the lake?
Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So this matches. I'm not going to present, I need to be careful. But this matches the second photo. Oh? Yeah, this matches the second photo, which had the empty lake. I mean, that's also a fair point, Susie. People don't use watches anymore. Wasn't there a boat on the lake?
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Botts?
Whoa, whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case. You know what? I feel for Phoenix at this point. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. Single gunshot, you say? So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick? It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? Guess I should just start working on the contradictions. Sorry, I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. What evidence do I have? So, essentially, Larry saw this, what was there, when this photo was taken. The empty lake. Larry was not there 25 minutes later when this one was taken. That doesn't change anything. Only one bullet was found, so... Aha! Lotta's deposition. I heard 2 shots, like gunshots, after midnight. Cool, okay. I have to go to where he said 1 shot and just present that, which doesn't prove that he's lying. It proves that the different witnesses heard different things, which is curious. After I heard that single gunshot... Wait a sec, Larry. What? You only heard 1 bang. You're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. You see, the problem is, this suggests that Larry's the unreliable one. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Well, yeah, that's the problem, Zizzy. At least according to Lotta's camera, there was a 25-minute gap between the two. This is not particularly useful. He heard 1 gunshot, then he went home, and then the other gunshot happened. Okay?
Mr. Botts,
What?
you only heard 1 gunshot? Are you sure?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Oh my god. Oh my god. Not sure? How could you not be sure?
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Perfect, Mitz. Thank you. Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. Yeah, the guy with memory loss is a much better witness. I was, listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude, with my headphones. What? My god, Larry.
Order, and stop that booing! Mr. Botts, you are listening to the radio with your headphones?
Nice, Lizard. Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everyone listens to the radio. What's the big deal?
Mr. Van Karmer, your opinion? Waste of time.
God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. Worth noting, this game came out in 2016. No, it didn't. It's set in 2016. It didn't come out in 2016. But yeah, radio. It still feels very archaic.
I do not accept this witness nor his shoddy testimony.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Van Karma, my bro.
Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony?
I still need to hear everything he's saying. This came out in 2001. Okay. Okay, and the iPhone came out in 2001, I think. So yeah, it makes sense that people were still listening to radios, I guess. Keep talking, Larry. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his terrible, flawed testimony. His unreliable witness testimony. Please. Just give me something at this point.
Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost.
Hi, Jen. Well, we're currently in a kangaroo court. Laws don't matter. And we've got a witness that is worse than the man who was coached by the other prosecutor with memory loss. So yeah, it's going bad, but good.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio.
Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud, but I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. Potentially interesting. Potentially interesting. I feel like I vaguely remember seeing something about that, miss. I'm guessing the entire stream was just, oh my god, what even are laws?
You were listening to your radio at a high volume?
Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is.
Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drumbeat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony.
Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot.
Excuse me, DJ?
Oh my god, the judge is 5,000 years old. He doesn't know what a DJ is. An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs. Phoenix, my man, you have never listened to the radio. DJs talk over songs all the time. So he could have heard the gunshot from the leg. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Wright.
Can't believe I'm continuing this charade. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Sure, I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying. Go on. Oh, you're not wrong, Myths. It's funny, this game is supposedly set in 2016, but it feels like it's set in, like, the early 90s. What did she say?
Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason we should care.
We should. It can potentially give us an idea of the time, if this happened before or after midnight. Yeah, bang that desk, Phoenix. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should.
Why?
Well, how do you know if we don't ask? Huh?
Fine. Very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court.
Here's the thing, though. Karma is just exasperated sigh, but I'm entirely on his side here.
What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot?
Just when she said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot. Well, there we fucking go. It was important because it makes it clear that this aligns with the 1150 photo, not with the 1215 photo, and therefore his entire testimony is useless. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe even Garma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us at all. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there is one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. So, I'm gonna save. This is less save scum and more. I'm not sure this is the right evidence to present, but I'm going to present this photo, which was taken at 11:50. Is that the right one? Again, Lade is interesting. She says 2 sounds like gunshots just after midnight. This accounts for the 3 shots that were fired. 1 just before midnight, and 2 just after midnight. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Sir, you are sweating so much we could use you to irrigate the Kalahari.
Is something the matter, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas when he heard the gunshot.
Indeed, and?
Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. Thank you, Luca.
That would seem to be the case, yes.
But that contradicts the 2 testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. No? No, it's not. There's... Phoenix, I love you, my dude. This isn't a contradiction. Also, still holding thumbs for Phoenix being the final Smash character. I know it won't be super hype. My absolute, hope for the final Smash character, and I still think it's a good shot, I still think Dr. Robotnik has a very good shot at being in. Ultimate has added a lot of villains, has added a lot of heavy characters, he'll be both. But I want Phoenix, because Phoenix will be so fucking dumb, and it'll be perfect.
Order! Order! What does this mean? 2 prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight.
You know what? I really thought Dante had a good shot, but now that there's a Dante costume, I don't think they would have done the Dante costume immediately before adding Dante. That's my problem. If Dante's costume had been in DLC Pack 1, I wouldn't have thought it had any impact here. But the fact that his costume was released just before, I just don't think so anymore. Which sucks, because Dante would be a great addition.
However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. It's almost like there were 3 gunshots from the gun that was fired 3 times. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious.
Okay. My bro, you brought in a brain-damaged man.
What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butcher's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight?
Oh, he's right. You'll notice how none of this helps Edgeworth in the least. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. And then he went home, and then everything else that we've already established happened, and Edgeworth is still guilty? This is not helping. I mean, I guess, Shadow Mage, but it's very easy to argue that since he went home, he wouldn't have heard the other gunshots.
Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight.
The fucking photo! Are you all mad? Von Karma, are you as idiotic as the rest of them? Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m.
Go? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture.
Which is exactly what Larry said. This is fine with Larry's thing. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It's why this photograph exists at all.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises.
Aha!
Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That's why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve.
Indeed, it would seem that is the case. Then where does that leave us?
Not really in much of a different position.
Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. You claiming that she was mistaken?
Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. I'll admit that is something worth examining. I'll grant that Larry gave us that. It doesn't clear Edgeworth, but it makes it clear that the events of the night were more complex than we've seen. That's also a serious possibility, Chris.
Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera.
Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear.
Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any.
Yeah. gun that fired 3 times. I mean, it's the best evidence I've got. Yeah, nothing else works. This is my evidence.
The murder weapon?
Something about this pistol was bothering me earlier. Thank you, miss. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. When, I don't know, Edgeworth was testing out the gun to make sure that it would actually fire. There are several explanations which do not clear Edgeworth at all. But whatever.
Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes.
Well, you know what, Myths? I love that sound effect. It doesn't really contradict the other witnesses. The other witnesses just didn't hear it.
One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why?
Uh-oh. I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshot separated by 25 minutes? What's wrong, Nick? I have it! I have it! Huh? Remember the case with the steel samurai? Yeah, of course I remember. It was 2 days ago. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya? Yes. If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. Right, I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Wright?
The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So, you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself.
Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. It was the Steel Samurai himself. Well, you spent them wisely, miss.
Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant Edgeworth and the victim Robert Hammond were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake.
Yeah, there were 2 gunshots at that time, though. No one seems to be addressing the fact that, what, did Miles fucking miss at a 1 meter distance?
The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit, it is hard to imagine any other possibility.
Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 15 after midnight.
Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. It's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent.
Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are.
The murderer and Hammond, Edgeworth and the murderer, or Edgeworth and Hammond. This is safe scumming, because apparently Wright has figured it out and I haven't. They referred back to the Steel Samurai case, in which the person we thought was the Steel Samurai was actually somebody else. I do believe Edgeworth was on that boat. But the other person was the murderer, I think. Actually, the game basically tells you. It says Hammond was killed before this photo was taken. So the two options with Hammond must be wrong. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't expect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then.
Murderer's name? Right. It's Lotta Hart. The thing is, this one is pretty logical. And the answer is, I don't know. Because the murderer is, in fact, a man who still hasn't told us his name. It's the fucking parrot. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know? Bah, again you waste my time.
I wish Larry had been an option. I don't know, because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond.
The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake to just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat?
What? Well then, where did the murder take place?
I do not know. I'm going to say probably, like, in or near his hut. Shack, whatever. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without seeing anyone.
Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime?
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat?
The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. God, you're gonna give Polly trauma. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth, and he went out into the middle of the lake.
Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
The dude who had the gun. You know. Yeah, it explains a lot. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details.
Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice.
Because the first shot missed. He wanted to miss. I appreciate the game when the game gives you two options, one of which is obviously wrong. To create a witness, I'm assuming in the sense of increase the chances that someone would see it. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness?
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. I don't think he knew about the camera chair.
Right,
that was just good luck.
So, would you rather have a punch in the face or a kick in the balls?
Thank you, Lizard. That is what a lot of the decisions feel like. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. For someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Yeah, that's the thing. He would get home and dry off. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired... transpired? Why does that sound wrong? I know it's not. That night on Gourd Lake.
Bailiff! Bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly! Well, while we are waiting for the caretaker, I'd like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand.
Bird's a fucking narc.
Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said?
Yes.
Well, why did you go to the lake that night?
What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually.
Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry. I can't say what it was.
I can, Your Honor. I volunteer as tribute.
Your Honor, sir, bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet.
The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either.
What?
What should I do?
Find him, quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. Goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well, court is adjourned.
Karma comes up to us afterwards.
You made me miss all 3 Lord of the Rings extended editions. And now my tacos are ruined.
Yay, Nick! You did it! Thank you, Blizzard. I really need that. And I need to hydrate as well. Good timing. Yeah, well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. That's because his testimony was garbage. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. It's almost like we're just characters in some sort of game with increasing levels of difficulty. But that's silly talk. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth?
Did you say something?
Don't look so pained. It's only the day before the 15th anniversary of your father's murder. It's not a big deal. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax.
I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet.
What do you mean?
Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you.
Tell me, Edgeworth! Edgeworth?
No. There's so little time left.
Oh my god.
I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but
oh my god, they are so gay. I adore this.
Can't make up my mind.
What is this about, Edgeworth? If you're trying to figure out whether I'm a top or a bottom, it's all good. I'm a verse. We can make this work.
It's a nightmare, I think.
Oh. That was significantly less exciting than I was hoping for.
The memory of a crime that I committed.
A crime you committed?
A memory of a murder.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Mayhaps he is, in fact, the baddie. Mr. Edgeworth talking about? Memory of a murder.
They call me
Yo!
Mr. Pig!
Malu! Thank you so much for the raid. Hello, Nikki. How was the rest of your Fuga stream? It is Phoenix, right? And Miles almost confessed that he loved us, but then changed the topic for some reason. Because he's a coward. Thank you so much, Malu. It's lovely to have you here. As well as all of the raiders. Do you think Mr. Edgeworth really killed? Yeah, it's always fun when you can ruin a boss with debuffs. Oh, we're cute, Nikki, just like you. I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. God. Oh my god. Malu, that's so good. I may have to add that to my BTTV. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently, but he'd never take someone's life. Never. Nick. Yo, how's everyone doing? What do you think of my performance today? You know, those lies I told were pretty convincing. And I'm swooning in the aisles, huh, Maya? Swooning? Me? Oh yes. I do remember feeling faint. It's a different thing, Maya. Right on. Tell me the truth. It was like love at first sight, right? Sir, she's a high schooler? Right, Nick? Huh? Me? Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two. I think you can do better than that. Come on, I saved Edgeworth in there, dude. Edgy! You guys should be bowing before me. Yeah, bow before your hero. He also wants Maya to love him. He wanted to make sure that Maya swooned. Larry, you really helped in the trial today. You did! If you weren't there, Larry, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth would have been found guilty. I mean, he kind of was. But seriously, Nick. That boat shop caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. But Edgy ain't off the hook yet. Way to spoil the mood, Larry. Hey, I'm just a guy sitting in the audience, you know. Lizard? Yes, thank you. That is exactly how he laughed. From where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty edgy. I mean, can you really know he's telling the truth about that night? Nick? I don't know, but what I do know is I'm going to believe in you two until the end. Us two? Edgeworth and who else? You mean me, right? Nah, he means me, right, Nick? Yeah, you, Larry. Not me. Larry! Huh? Actually, yeah, why me, Nick? Because, look, Maya, I don't know how to break this to you. Larry and Miles and me, we are boys who like boys. So, when boys who like boys want to like boys, they don't want girls coming. Do you understand, Maya? Like, please understand. Enough with the silent treatment. Nick, why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's changed recently, true. But when we first met him, he was kind of a jerk, don't you think? No, Maya, it's called tsundere, and it's a whole thing. You didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney. Wait, was that when you two were classmates? Yes, in grade school. Ooh, new music. They saved me. Miles and Larry. They saved me and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know? What? Hey, Larry, what's he talking about? Huh? Sorry, I kind of forgot. Okay, Nick, out with it. I'm gonna hear the story today, and that's final. Okay. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was the very end of 3rd grade. I was on trial, a class trial. What the fuck is a class trial? Yeah, okay, Maya has an appropriate response. You remember, Larry. Spring, end of 3rd grade. A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen. Lunch money? Our school was really small. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home. Ah, I see. Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared, with $38 still inside. Oh, yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that. I can see why you'd forget, though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class, and since I was a fucking nerd who never actually did any exercise, you know, people reasonably assumed that I was the one who had done it. I was coming down with a cold, so I'd skip PE that day. I was the only one not in class. So, they thought you did it? Yeah. The kids in class said I should be put on trial. What the fuck school allows this? So the next day, we held a classroom trial with me as the defendant. Like, note that is in class with the teacher present. What the fuck was she doing? God, this school is stupid. I mean, it makes sense. Everything else in this world is stupid. I didn't do it. Guilty. He did it. Guilty. It was you. Thief. Give the money back. You're such a meanie. No one play with them. Admit you did it. You can't hide the truth. Tell us the truth. We're not gonna play with you anymore. I'm not gonna read these all. Now, Phoenix, you know you shouldn't steal people's money. It's not right. In the end, even the teacher thought I'd done it. But the teacher was a jagweed, so it didn't really matter. Go over and apologize, Phoenix. If this was a literal theft, give the money back. It's not apologize. God, I would never do this in my class. I actually had a curriculum. Like, I had to get through a certain amount of stuff, and stopping the entire class to have a mock trial. Like, here's the thing. This would be a great way to teach an actual law thing. These kids were in 3rd grade. They're like 8 years old. Most of these, like, in 3rd grade, are you even learning fractions yet? Most of these kids probably can't even do proper division. Yeah, but I'm a former teacher, Zizzy. So, like, Fuck the narrative. This is stupid. Although I do want that shirt. I didn't know what was happening. I was so sad. I was just a small shark child. I hadn't even met my shark mom yet. Everyone was staring at me like I'd done it. I tried to apologize. I went to where the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting. I don't remember what it was like being 8 years old. God, I don't know when kids learn fractions. That's when it happened. That's when I murdered my teacher. Objection! He shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in a trial is evidence. Anything else has no place. You should all be ashamed. Matures. Miles? Oh my god, baby Miles is so cute. Also, his mouth is huge. Like, I get that the hand is just perspective, but his mouth takes up like 80% of his head. Yeah, Larry, Miles, and Phoenix went to the same school. It wasn't you who stole my money, was it? Wait, Edgeworth was the kid whose money got stolen? That's amazing. No. Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. That is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. But Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah, he did it. He's the thief. We don't need proof. Why don't you all just shut up? This is always how it is. Everybody ganging up and picking on one person. Yeah, that is exactly what I imagined 8-year-old Larry would look like. Just think how he feels. He said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. Yeah, imagine that! Very well, I will replace the money myself. This class trial is over. Oh. Okay. But there was no... What? This story is so stupid. After that, the three of us were the best of friends. That chair. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea either. I mean, I forgot. That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone without a friend in the world. You did a good thing, Larry. Yeah, well... I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. If I'd been there, they would have thought I'd done it. Oh my god! Zizzy, you're right! It was the teacher. So I took it kind of personally, see? Something smells, it's usually the bugs. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. It wasn't long until I heard his father was a corpse. But, you know, different story. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father. I'm going to become a defense attorney just like my father. A famous defense attorney. Then a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school. The DL6 incident. Right, not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. So sad. It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like, "Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney." What the fuck newspaper is this? Phoenix, are you reading the tabloids again? fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. But why? What happened? I mean, that's not the Edgy I used to know at all. That's what I thought, too. I tried to get in touch with him, I don't know how many times. He never replied. I guess he didn't want to see his old friends. I couldn't just drop it, though. I wanted to meet him, to learn why he had become who he became. That's when I decided. As a shark man, I was going to steal an attorney's badge and sneak into a legal office. Wait, you don't mean... That's why? That's why you became a defense attorney? To meet Edgeworth? Oh my god! Phoenix, he probably had an office. Like, this is such a bullshit motivation. Because what you want to hear is, oh, I became a defense attorney to protect the innocent. Yeah, there are phones in this world. Just call him. If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. Assuming you worked on the same cases, which is unlikely. In court. Two cans. Edgeworth believed in me and I believed in him. He's in pain and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. The fuckable Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him. Oh, Nick. So, is that why you helped me out for free? Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I'd do it for free. Oh, Nick! Nick! Yeah, Miss April May, the best named character. Nick, we have to save Mr. Edgeworth if it's the last thing we do, okay? You two need to fuck in public. Right, it very well may be. First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. We need to find out who or what he is. I'd settle for who. I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. Yes, Mr. Sowit was a great name for a witness. Okay. Let's see if Edgy has anything to say. Honestly, all the character names are great. Many of the characters are also good. I say many, not all. Because there's the fucking clown. Don't worry, Chris. We'll get to the parrot. You look as grim as always. Mr. Edgeworth, I heard the story about the class trial. Class trial? What do you mean? Nick, as in short for Phoenix, I guess? Oh, Luca! Oh, no! So... This is unfortunate. I don't know who's going to organize Luca's funeral. But I hope we'll all be able to attend. It was lovely to know you, Luca. I hope at least some part of your body is recovered that can be buried. All jokes aside, most spiders aren't going to hurt you. Oh, hold on. Is it coming closer so you can get a look? Yes, Luca, be brave. Good luck, Luca. I mean, keep in mind, I'm originally from South Africa. We've got some scary fucking spiders. You don't remember? No, I don't. Your lunch money was stolen, wasn't it? In 3rd grade. Lunch money? Oh, right. Yes, I seem to remember something like that. So, the scariest thing. I never came across them. The scariest fucking thing, because they lived in, like, our cities, were fucking baboon spiders. Because baboon spiders are... They can reach, like, tarantula kind of sizes. So baboon spiders are big. And they're fast. And they chase people. Now, the reason they chase people is not mean. I think that's kind of the worst thing about it. What they do is in summer, they like to seek out the shade because it gets hot. And especially if you're you're walking on the road, well, on the sidewalk, or you're in an area like that, they will see your shadow. They will dash from where they are to your shadow, and then when you run away, they keep trying to get to your shadow. It's fucking terrifying. Oh, thank goodness, Luca. Shit, huntsmen scare me. Probably only really mattered to me anyway. This is the class trial. We're not talking spiders anymore. Mr. Edgeworth, didn't you know? The trial was the reason Nick became a defense attorney. Technically untrue, Maya. A desire to dick down Miles harder than anyone has ever been dicked down is the reason he became a defense attorney. Ridiculous. Gee, thanks. That said, does sound like the kind of thing you'd do. You haven't changed a bit, have you, right? So simple. To a fault, even. Well, maybe yeah, but I think you changed too much, Edgeworth. Perhaps. Hey, Edgeworth, why did you become a prosecutor anyway? You used to look up to your dad. You said you wanted to be a defense attorney, right? I couldn't let myself deny reality like you. What do you mean? My father was taken from me and you want me to defend criminals? No, I want you to defend the innocent. Like, keep in mind that that's how it works in this world. Everyone who is accused of a crime is innocent. I'm sorry, Wright, but I'm not that good of a person. One suspect was apprehended in your father's murder, right? Yes, the man trapped in the elevator with my father. His name was Yanni Yogi. He had to be the shooter, any way you look at it. Yet he was found innocent. That defense attorney got him off the hook. That would be Robert Hammond. On that day, 15 years ago. The three of us were trapped in that elevator for 5 hours. When we were rescued, we all suffered oxygen deprivation. I had lost all memory of the murder. Lost your memory? That seems very selective. I suspect the brain damage would be much more severe than that. Even now, I can't recall what happened in that elevator. That was the crux of Yogi's attorney's argument in court. He claimed that Yanni Yogi had not been of sound mind due to the oxygen deprivation. Yeah, more likely that's trauma, and if you spend some time with a good therapist, you can remember that and work through the trauma. Yogi was released due to a lack of evidence. Innocent. That's when I changed my mind. I started to hate defense attorneys, except the one who I wanted to fuck. What's your relationship with Von Karma? He's my teacher, and a man who deserves respect. I learned everything I know of courtroom techniques from him. So he's like my sister was to you, Nick. He is a perfectionist in all things. In court, in his personal life, he's obsessed with doing everything perfectly. Yeah, well, he didn't manage to do a perfect watching of the Lord of the Rings extended editions with tacos, because I fucked it up. Wait, that makes me sound like the bad guy. Perfectly, huh? In all the cases he has taken on, none were left unsolved. And not one suspect was declared innocent. Ever. But that's... I know. It's possible some of the suspects were indeed innocent. However, it is impossible for us to accurately determine that in every case. Oh god, Chris, we saved him. All Von Karma does is his job, to find the suspect guilty perfectly. In any case, it's nigh well impossible to find a weakness in him. Should a weakness appear, he would do everything in his power to make it go away. Tom, why did you immediately bring up Amogus? Edgeworth? What you're saying is true. You're headed for a guilty sentence tomorrow. He's already had one. We'll be good. Oh yeah, there is a good Hobbit movie. It's just not those 3 bizarre 10-hour abominations. The Hobbit's a good story. He's right. Now's no time to praise the enemy, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a strange situation in which I find myself, I'll admit. I do not like them. I saw the first one, I liked some things, but overall I just don't enjoy them. No kidding. So, this whole DL6 incident. Want to give me some details? It was that case that changed my life. And tomorrow, on December 28th, its statute of limitations runs out. Yes, Nikki, I do like you. Tomorrow, could that be a coincidence? But even if the case is finally closed on paper, it will never be erased from my memory. Not until I suffer further oxygen deprivation, which apparently solves all problems. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. Let's lock him in an elevator for several hours. Go from the scene of the murder. Let's show this to Miles. This won't bring up past trauma. Nick, no! It's a photo of his father. Don't show him that. Okay, thank you, Maya. You're right. Now probably isn't a good time to dredge up those memories. What is it? Nothing. Not sure I can help you with that. Okay. I don't think there's much more I can talk to him about. I did 2 cans. Oh. Have you seen this gun? Okay. Let's see if... Hey! Gumshoe. Looks like Detective Gumshoe hasn't gotten back yet. Gumshoe, he won't be coming back today. Oh, really? Said there was some guy he had to arrest by tomorrow. Chop caretaker. Shouted something about catching him if it's the last thing I do, pal. Oh yeah, it's the only explanation. Which is why I like the fact that he has a parrot. Hey, pal! Long time no see! Gumshoe, it hasn't even been a full day. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Oh, Detective Gumshoe. Close one today, huh? I got so worked up, I snapped my tie in half. Sorry about that. They did actually give a reason, Tom, but it's a stupid one. No problem, pal. Thanks to you, we now know who really did it. Well, honestly, we've got nothing but conjecture for that, but okay. You mean the boat shop caretaker? Look, I'll make you a promise. I'll have that scoundrel in my custody by trial time tomorrow. Yes, I believe they said they used to grow gourds in this area. Also, hello, Drilltooth. Come what may. It's my duty to you as a police officer. Now, I'm off to catch me a criminal. Detective Gumshoe sure is active today. Oh, one other thing. Yeah! No one can go into the woods today. The woods? Where Lotta was camping? The woods are off limits to camping, and apparently the park ranger found out. He got pretty mad. No one can go in for a while. Gumshoe's great. Gumshoe in, like, the very first case is... Well, in the first case with investigation, so the second case, he's presented as this bumbler. But he's... he's just such a nice guy. And then on top of that... Yeah, he is kind of heroic. There's been at least one case already where he has literally saved someone. Oh, Bibi, Chimbus, Glungo, and Rodriguez. Those are very good toucans. Ah, Ziz, that reminds me of Torpenhow Hill. I guess Lotta's in a lot of trouble. Anyway, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Huh? The steel eyesore is missing. Eyesore? Looks like the hot dog stand is closed too. Yes, Larry's too busy worrying about Mr. Edgeworth to show up for work. Yeah, there are so many things. Basically what happens is people name a place, you know, locals for whom a small area is like your entire world. There's the river, and it's just called the river. And then explorers come along, and they speak a different language, and they say, what is this river called? And the people say, oh, that is called river. But because they say it in a different language, it ends up just being called river in the other language. I don't think there's anything to do here. That old caretaker got away. Yep. Never imagined he might be the real murderer. Ahem! I'd know that clearing of the throat anywhere. Oh! I thought it was someone else. Let me settle down into my favorite type of voice.
Hello. What might you be doing here? Out for a walk, hmm? Ah, the days of my youth. Like the scent of fresh lemon. You see.
Mr. Grossberg, this is no time for idle reminiscing. Mr. Edgeworth's trial ends tomorrow.
Oh, that is true. But from what I saw of today's trial, Edgeworth should be fine, right?
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not sure.
If you find anything out, come by my office at once. I may be able to offer some assistance.
Thank you, Luca. I happen to love it as well. It's so much fun! God, I wish I could be a voice actor in one of these games. Or just, like, in general. What do you think Mr. Grossberg was doing here, anyway? Who knows? God, can we get a petition for me to be in the next Phoenix Wright as a voice actor? Nobody's home. Hello, hello. Hey, it's Polly. I wonder where your owner's gone, Polly. Hello, hello. Can't believe he'd run off and leave his poor parrot to fend for herself. Hello, hello. Maybe I should take care of Polly, Nick. You probably shouldn't just kidnap her. The police know about her anyway. I'm sure they'll do something. Oh, okay. Sorry, Polly. He says I can't take you. Okay. But here's the thing, Lizard. There's so much space for those kind of...
Well, see, really, it's I must object.
There's so much space for that. God, I'd love it so much. Great, now the bird's going to hate me. Oh, mayhaps there's something interesting here. That reminds me, Nick. Polly here knows the number to the safe, right? Yeah, that's right. Polly, what's the number to the safe? 1228. Let's open it, Nick. Come on. Sure there isn't any money in there? Aww. Oh my god, Maya! But hey, he keeps it locked, right? So there must be something of value in there. Well, Myths, now that's suddenly a thought. I'm not so sure. Okay, Nick, let's see what's in there. Guess there might be a clue or two. The only thing in here is a letter. A letter? Aw, boring. There's no name or signature on this thing. It's handwritten in very precise, clear letters. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Nick, why would Mr. Edgeworth's name be on here? How should I know? I'm gonna read the whole thing. I don't know what Guffaw is, but I'm glad. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Get eggs. Get milk. Flee the country. It's essentially just a to-do list. It also says this is your last chance. Now is the time to get revenge on the 2 men who ruined your life. The rest of the letter goes on to describe the murder plot in detail. How to kill Robert Hammond and frame Edgeworth, pulling Edgeworth out to the lake, getting on the boat, firing twice. This is exactly what I figured out today in court. It's all here, in perfect detail. So there is a mastermind. It is the parrot after all. If you're going to do a crime, make sure to write it down and ideally sign it. Trying to do a laugh in that voice. Give me a moment to get into it. Just a it's difficult because I can do a good villain laugh, but that doesn't really work for a villain. Because I can easily do a that is the laugh I'm best at. No, Chris. Legally, you have to sign your own name. Oh, you want that again, Luca? I can do that for you again. You know what, Chris? Yeah, take notes for that. I'm so glad, Luca. I like to think so, Lizard, and I enjoy doing it. It is a tough fucking industry to crack into. Well, Nikki, Red Mage, in fact, has me as the villain in Metopia. What do you think it means, Nick? Oh my god, Maya. I adore you, you tiny child without a brain. Oh, Red Mage, have you reached the part? Am I no longer evil? I don't know, but it looks like these are instructions for that caretaker. When he killed Robert Hammond and called out Edgeworth, he was following instructions. You saved me, Red Mage. But who could have written that letter? Stitch is now the true villain? Fantastic. And what does it mean to get revenge on Miles Edgeworth? Look, I don't know, okay? But one thing's for certain. This letter is an amazing clue. There's nothing left in the safe. I wonder why the caretaker didn't take the letter with him. He left in a hurry, right? I don't think he even came back here after the trial. I don't think there's anything else here. Whoops. Did I press a dumb? I may have. Navigation in these games can be so frustrating. One day left, Nick. Yeah, I know. Well, no time to waste. Let's get going. Woman, you're wasting time. I'm just here so I can get to Grossberg law offices. Unlimited garlic bread, you say? Well then, sir. I know what I'll be ordering. He's out. Again. When does he work, anyway? Now, don't be harsh. Oh. I thought this was where I had to go. What do you think of this note, buddy? Edgeworth, see this letter? This came out of the safe in the shack where that boat rental caretaker lives. I see. Revenge. On me? Who is that old guy anyway? I don't know. Could he be an innocent defendant who got declared guilty or something? That is a very important PSA, Luca. Thank you. Also, in my channel, you can get revenge for everything we do to you in Red Mage's channel. Nice, right? But I don't remember that old man. Not at all. So he was following this letter then? Which means there was someone else behind it. Now is the time to get revenge on the two men who ruined your life. Two men, meaning myself and Robert Hammond. It also says, this is your last chance. Okay, but if he wanted to get revenge on Hammond and Edgeworth, why didn't he kill both Hammond and Edgeworth? Like, that feels like it would have done the job. Last chance? Wait. Maybe he's talking about the statute of limitations on the DL6 incident. Yes, Shadow Mage! Wait, that old man. What is it? Do you know who he is? Yogi. Could he be Yogi? No, Luca! Yogi? The suspect in the DL6 incident. The one who was found innocent. But why would he want revenge against Hammond, who found him innocent? That doesn't make much sense. Oh, toucans. That's not a cravat. That just grows out of him. That's essentially just a fancy beard. He has to shave it every other day. Honestly, yeah. Luca was just too cute to survive in chat. Wait, can I talk to you more? I can. Yanni Yogi was a court bailiff at the time. We just happened to be in that elevator together 15 years ago. And Luca, now, I know never to make you a mod. Luca, if I can make you feel just a little better for a moment. Does that help? I'm so glad. That quake was incredibly strong. Before I knew it, everything was dark. We were there for so long it felt like forever. The air thinned and the darkness closed in on us in that little box. I think you'd be good, Lizard. We became unsettled. All jokes aside, I might want to add some more mods. Juice is pretty regular, but there are times when Juice can't make it. Same for Cahill and Vegeta. So I might want to add some more mods. We'll see.
Luca is super cute and cherished and appreciated and talented and loved very much. Woo.
Very good suggestion, Nikki. Oh, Nikki, that was beautiful. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet. I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. I want to get out! Help! Get us out! Magenta is a mod here, which is a dangerous play for me to make. Clip that, and I must add a command that just posts that clip. Oh, my Luca command will be even more powerful. Don't shout, you'll just use up more oxygen. No, you see, that's the thing, Chair. I don't want to get rid of Magenta, because you need a chaotic evil mod. Or at least chaotic neutral. That's all I remember. When I came to, I was in a hospital bed, staring up at the ceiling. In court, Yanni Yogi's mental condition was called into question. They claimed the oxygen deprivation and stress had caused temporary insanity. Oh, Shadow Mage, thank you for that. In the end, the claim passed the court and Yogi was found innocent. But isn't that strange? This letter tells him to get revenge on Edgeworth. Why would he want to take revenge on you? Right. Yeah? There's something that's been troubling me these last few days. I didn't know whether or not I should tell you. You mean the nightmare? Yeah, a memory of a crime I committed. A memory of a murder. Yeah, we don't... Okay. This is such an anime trope, and I hate it, and it's a thing that happens, especially in Naruto. Flashbacks are bad enough. But don't flashback to earlier in this episode. I know what happened in this episode. I was there. I can tell you that because I'm watching this episode. I fucking hated when especially long animes, like Naruto and all of those, when they flash back to the same episode I was just watching. Yeah, flashback to 3 minutes ago. Flashbacks within flashbacks can be cool, they just have to be done right. I think the time has come to tell all. For the last 15 years, I've had the same dream almost every night. I wake up in a fearful sweat every time. What kind of dream? It's a dream about my father's killing in the dark. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet. I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. I want to get out! Help! Get us out! Don't shout. You'll just use up more oxygen. Oh my god! You're flashing back to the flashback of a flashback! Ooh. Thank you, both Nikki and Shadow Mage. It's good to have multiple clips. I can't breathe. You're using up my air. What? Stop breathing my air. I'll stop you. What? What are you? Stop breathing my air. No, Father. He's attacking Father. You know what? I was going to complain, but Miles is exactly the kind of stuck-up kid who would call his father, Father. Then I see the pistol lying by my feet. I don't know if it was evidence from that day in court or the bailiffs. I do, Luca. That lizard. I mean, Luca's very cute. Luca is ever present in my memories. Yes, let's do a flashback to when that happened. In a daze, I picked up the pistol. Get away! Get away from my father! You threw the pistol. And with that scream, I wake. It's a bone-chilling scream. A scream that has rung in my ears for the past 15 years. But it's just a dream, right? Right? That thought is the only thing that has kept me sane for the last 15 years. Okay, so this confirms that the memory loss is not due to oxygen deprivation, otherwise he wouldn't have dreams about it. It's due to trauma, and you really, really need a good psychiatrist. Also, if that clip could be posted in my Discord server, that would be primo. But what if I'm wrong? What if it's real? They say that sometimes people shut out memories in self-defense. That's what we're saying, buddy. Maybe it was I who killed my father. What? Yes! Good, Chair. I give anybody permission, if you have a Discord server, to paste it into that Discord server. Or into anybody else's. Spread this far and wide. Yeah, that's what I feel, Drill Tooth. Like, yeah, flashbacks within the same episode, I'm not a fan of. If they're done, they should be brief. I'm thinking specifically of, especially Naruto Shippuden.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Yes, Chair. That is perfect, because there are 2 clips in at least 2 channels. There are 2 of them. We will never move on, Luca. You know what? Fair, Kuko. I'll give you that. If you think about it that way, this letter makes sense. Get your revenge on Miles Edgeworth. Think about it. Yogi was really innocent. That's why he wanted revenge against me. Wait, Edgeworth, you mean... It was me. I was the true criminal of DL6. I shot my father. This is bad. What are we going to do, Nick? What can we do? Well, wait one more day, and then that trial won't matter anymore. I don't know. I don't think there's anything we can do, like it or not. If there's someone else who knows a lot about the DL6 incident, maybe. There is, Nick! And he has a good voice. There is someone who knows about DL6. Mr. Grossberg.
Ah, hello there. What's wrong? Troubled.
No kidding. I can't believe you're not.
My. Just calm down and tell me what happened. Hmm?
It's Mr. Edgeworth. He...
I see. So, Edgeworth dreamt he shot his own father.
It's only a dream. Only a dream.
I wonder.
What?
If that's the case, then why do you two look so troubled, hmm?
Well...
Also, consider this. Yogi quite certainly holds a deep grudge against Miles Edgeworth. So deep, you'd want to frame him for murder. This leads me to surmise that Mr. Edgeworth's dream was not a dream. It was real, as you imagined. Miles Edgeworth threw the pistol to save his father. Pistol fired, and the deed was done.
Is that a thing that can happen? I don't know much about guns. But I generally believe the trigger should be involved in the process. No. I don't believe it.
Yogi was suspected of murder, and his career as a bailiff was irrevocably wrecked. Thus, he sought revenge on Miles Edgeworth. This was his last chance, of course, with the statute of limitations so close.
No, that's not true. He could have killed him after the statute of limitations. What do you know about Edgeworth's father?
He was a defense attorney without peer. It sounds trite, but it's true. Well, he may have had one peer, now that I think about it. Your mentor, Mia Fey.
My sister?
Gregory Edgeworth was very disapproving of Mr. Von Karma's techniques.
That's no surprise.
Von Karma is an extreme man. Forged testimonies and evidence are nothing to him. The result? He has a perfect win record in court. To beat him, Gregory Edgeworth tried to call attention to his methods.
And?
He lost. And died in despair, as it were.
I see.
When Gregory Edgeworth was killed, the police called on a spirit medium. That was your mother, Misty Fey.
I am Gregory Edgeworth. I have been killed. The one who shot me was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi. Correct, Chair.
Yet, Yogi was found innocent.
That's when my mother left us.
Everyone called her a fraud. That's right. Everyone thought she was, you see. Yet, now that I think about it, it seems the one who lied was Gregory Edgeworth's ghost.
Oh, they're great, Chair. I adore them. They're so bad.
Gregory Edgeworth must have known who shot him.
I don't believe it. So you're saying he falsified his testimony? That Edgeworth's dad lied to protect his son?
It's only a possibility, mind you. But a possibility nonetheless. This incident took place 15 years ago tomorrow. Tomorrow will see the completion of not one, but 2 trials. All thanks to the statute of limitations. However, I'm afraid the damage the DL6 incident has done will never be erased. Ah, she was a beautiful woman. I'm truly sorry about what I did.
Huh? Sorry about what? I think I'll stay out of this one. Oh? I wanted to hear more. It's... You know... That's interesting. Air in elevator was oxygen depleted at time of incident. That's so awkwardly worded. No clues found on the scene. 1 bullet was found in the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. It doesn't actually say what the murder weapon was. So... but yeah, if we went back to the records room, we could find that. And it would potentially say exactly that, Drilltooth. Yeah, the fire twice is certainly interesting.
Oh, so this is the letter. It does seem that Yogi was following this letter when he killed Hammond.
But why kill Robert Hammond?
Hammond was a skilled defense attorney, but he defended clients not for their sake, but for his own.
Huh? His own sake?
He never trusted his clients that way. The only thing he trusted was his own ability.
But he got his client found innocent, so why should it matter?
Actually, my dear, it's quite different. He won that innocent verdict for no one but himself. Yogi was a free man, but socially, he was ruined.
Huh?
You'll understand soon enough. Wait!
What is it?
This letter. I have seen his handwriting somewhere before, a long time ago. It's my handwriting. I type these days, so I don't see it much anymore. Whose handwriting was this? Do you have any idea who wrote this?
My instinct is Von Karma. Because he's a dickbag. Could it be Manfred Von Karma? Oh! It is Von Karma. Edgeworth said that he's perfect in everything, and they said this handwriting was perfect.
Von Karma? Why would he have something to do with this?
Well, I'm not sure. Didn't Gregory Edgeworth lose to Von Karma, but Edgeworth also, like, pointed out that his methods were bad? He might want revenge.
Von Karma. Von Karma. Wait. You're right, my boy. This is Von Karma's handwriting. I'm sure of it. I used to see it all the time on court reports.
What? But that means the one who told Mr. Yogi to kill was...
Correct. Manfred Von Karma himself.
What does this mean, then? Why would Von Karma want to frame Edgeworth? Ho 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 ho! The plot, she thickens.
If it truly was Von Karma who wrote this letter, then he would know the truth. He would know that Miles Edgeworth had accidentally killed his own father. He'll say as much tomorrow in court, I should think. He'll press the point until the court finds Miles Edgeworth guilty.
Oh no! But how could Von Karma know about Mr. Edgeworth's past like that? Even Mr. Edgeworth thought it was just a nightmare.
Oh, but Von Karma is... He knows many things on account of how he's a vampire. He can go into people's dreams.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I thought it was clever, but it's not.
Yes, I do know that Von Karma is both persistent and a perfectionist. He may be seeking to satisfy a grudge against Gregory Edgeworth by hurting his son.
What do you mean?
This was 15 years ago. Von Karma met Gregory Edgeworth in court, and Von Karma did win, but he didn't make it through the trial unscarred.
What happened in the trial between Edgeworth's dad and Von Karma?
Von Karma got the guilty verdict he wanted. He won the trial. But Gregory Edgeworth accused Von Karma of faulty evidence. And though he lost the trial, Mr. Edgeworth's accusation stood.
Faulty evidence?
It was the only penalty Von Karma has ever received in his career as a prosecutor. Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see.
A vacation?
Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting.
Really? He doesn't take vacations? Like, go to the sea or on the mountains? Don't tell me he's never been to Europe. You have strange ideas about vacations, Maya. No, she really doesn't. Those were 3 very reasonable vacation suggestions.
In any case, that was the only time he took a vacation from work.
Oh, Zizzy. I need to see someone do fan art of that.
I believe the penalty upset him quite a lot.
Odd. If he wanted to keep a perfect record so badly, why would he take such a long vacation? What do we do, Nick? When Karma is going to bring up DL6, you can bet on it. What if Mr. Edgeworth pleads guilty to DL6? I won't let him.
Well, yes, Mr. Wright. I hate to say this, but even accidental murder is murder, you know.
You know what? Yes, but I feel like accidental murder in the dark by a 9-year-old who wasn't holding the weapon and whose only evidence is a nightmare? Even in this world, that's bad evidence. Like, I know that. Phoenix, you don't. You're wrong. I just believe in Edgeworth's innocence. Can't believe he'd kill someone. But, Nick, Mr. Edgeworth admits it himself. His father must have lied to protect him from beyond the grave. I don't care. I know he's not guilty. So, my favorite little bit of wordplay, like manslaughter. You can't spell advertisements without semen between the tits. I know he's not guilty.
Mr. Wright, if you say so, I suppose I could go check again.
Yes, Nikki? It's so good because it's right there.
The police files might hold something of interest.
Mr. Grossberg, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that, Josh.
I can't promise anything. In fact, I think the chances of finding something are slim.
I understand. Police materials. I am going to save here. I've been going for about 3 hours. I think this is a good place to pause. We have got some deep intrigue going on. And we will come back to it next week, Sunday. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been an absolutely wonderful stream. It has been so much fun. Like, the game, the voices. Y'all have been absolutely crazy and I adore it. Luca, that would be perfectly reasonable. You can direct people to a Discord server, while I, so long, look for someone to raid on Twitch. So, Phoenix Wright returns next week Sunday at 2:30 Eastern Time, just as it is today. And I think next week we might get to the very bottom of this. My other streams are Wednesday, 5:30 Eastern Time, and Friday, 5:30 Eastern. For both of those, I'm going to be doing Dark Souls next week. I also have a Saturday 5:30 stream where I play Xenoblade Chronicles. If anybody has been lurking and would like to follow to catch more of my stuff, that would be appreciated. Let's take a look at who is live. Who's good to raid? Jetpack Dragon is live. Actually, quite a few. I was going to say quite a few. It's the opposite. There's not many people live. Or at least not many people I follow. Does anybody have a particular suggestion? Otherwise, we're going to raid Gamer DLM. No one seems to be complaining, so that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, as I said, thank you so much for joining me. This was an incredibly fun stream. I'm loving these games. They're so stupid, but they're fantastic. I cannot wait to see more of it. I hope everyone has a good time zone. For me, it's late afternoon, early evening, but whatever time it is for you, I hope you stay rad. You all deserve it. We haven't rated Gamer before, so we'll go with our nice standard P grade raid message. You're also fantastic, Nikki. And I hope to see you around in the future. Have a good one. Ciao.